So the Oscars are just 1 week away. And around this time of year, some people like to go back and look at what all the Best Picture winners over the last, 100 years or so won the Best Picture award. And, maybe they want to catch up with them. As someone who's actually seen every single one of the 97 Oscar Best Picture winners, I thought I'd give you a little guide as to which ones you can watch and which ones you should probably skip. Now, the first thing you need to know about the Academy Awards is that the first ceremony didn't honor films within one calendar year. The first one was the 1927-1928 Academy Award. So it's basically all the films eligible were the films from 1927 and half of the year of 1928, based on when the ceremony was. And that doesn't change until 1934. So let's go on to the list. The movie with the distinction of being the first Academy Award winner for Best Picture is William A. Wellman's Wings. Now, for this first ceremony, which honored films from 1927 and 1928, there were actually two Best Picture winners. One was for Best Production, which was what Wings won, and there was also another category called Most Artistic and Unique Production, which was won by a film called Sunrise: A Song of Two Humans. But according to kind of the official Academy Award, Best Picture lineage, they recognize Wings as the first official Best Picture winner. Wings is a film about World War I with the love triangle in it. The love triangle part is okay. The real reason to watch this movie is for the amazing aerial footage that they shoot. They basically put cameras on real World War I type planes and flew them around. There's a very famous tracking shot that a lot of people have paid homage to throughout the years. Wings is a very good film. I would give this one 4 stars. Now, for the 1929 Oscars, it was the first year that talkies were eligible. So this is the first film that was a sound motion picture that won the Best Picture, and this is the Broadway Melody. This is a very, very early musical. It's not, when you think of classic Hollywood musicals, it's definitely not what you think of. First of all, it's in black and white, not very colorful, and like the ones you're thinking of probably from the 50s and 60s. It's also a little stale and a little wooden. They're still kind of getting around trying to figure out how sound works in movies. It's not a great movie, but it's interesting from a historical perspective. I would give the Broadway Melody 3 stars. The winner for 1930-1931 is probably the first absolute masterpiece that won an Academy Award for Best Picture, and it's All Quiet on the Western Front. You may have read this book in high school. It's basically an anti-war film. It was remade recently in French for Netflix, I believe. I haven't watched that version. I heard it's very good. But this one, amazing cinematography, amazing combat scenes, probably one of the greatest films ever made. I give All Quiet on the Western Front 5 stars. For the 1931-1932 Oscars, our winner was Cimarron. This film is a little bit of a slog. This was probably one that you can skip. This is basically about how American settlers settled the west of the United States during the early days of the country. There's one really great epic scene of the Oklahoma land rush that's really well done, but for the most part, you could probably skip this one. I would give it 2.5 stars. The 1932-1933 Oscars awarded Edmund Goulding's Grand Hotel for Best Picture that year. This is a star-studded cast for the time. It includes Greta Garbo, John Barrymore, Joan Crawford, Wallace Beery, Lionel Barrymore. It's basically a big soap opera set in a hotel. It's fun to watch if you know your film history and you know who all these stars were, seeing them interact with each other. It's a little melodramatic. It's not bad. I would give this one 3.5 stars. The 1932-1933 Best Picture winner was Cavalcade. This one's a rough watch. Look, there's no easy way to say it. It's kind of boring. You don't need to see this one. It's basically about a British family throughout the decades, all their trials and tribulations and triumphs and things like that. It's a slog to get through. I think it's only 2 hours, but it feels like 3. You can skip this one. I give this one 2 stars. Now we get to 1934. This is whenever the Oscars started just focusing on the calendar year. So 1934 is only movies from 1934. And the winner that year was It Happened One Night, directed by Frank Capra, starring Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. This is one of the great great romantic comedies of the time, pretty much of all time. The chemistry between these two is unbelievable. It's about a socialite, kind of like a Kim Kardashian kind of person from the 1930s who runs away. She's the daughter of like a newspaper publisher. She runs away. She wants nothing to do with what her father plans for her. This newspaper reporter, played by Clark Gable, is trying to get her back to try and, you know, scoop up a story, but he's also is falling in love with her at the same time. This is really charming. It's fantastic. This is a 5-star movie. You owe it to yourself to watch it. 1935, the Best Picture winner was Mutiny on the Bounty, another Clark Gable film. And just like the name, it's about a mutiny, a revolt on a ship called the USS Bounty. Charles Laughton plays the villain here, and Captain Bligh. Excellent turn for Charles Laughton, who sometimes chewed scenery, but in this, it's perfect. This is a really good film. I give this one 4.5 stars. 1936 winner, The Great Ziegfeld. This one is... oh boy. This is a biopic of Florenz Ziegfeld, who, you know, produced many big Broadway productions back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. The cast is William Powell, Myrna Loy, Louise Rayner. Louise Rayner won an Academy Award for Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress, I can't remember, but there's some great dance numbers in here, and there's great musical sequences. But it's 3 hours long, and it's a little boring at times. I'm gonna give it 3 stars based on the musical numbers alone, but you could probably skip this one. Please excuse my beat up copy of this one, but this is 1937's winner, The Life of Emile Zola. This one stars Paul Muni as the famous writer Emile Zola. It's a good movie. It's not a great movie. It's a biopic, and yeah, it kind of hits all the biopic beats. If you know any, I don't know a lot about the life of Emile Zola, but you know, it's fine. I'd say 3 stars. 1938's winner, You Can't Take It With You, directed by Frank Capra, starring Jimmy Stewart and Lionel Barrymore, Jean Arthur, and Edward Arnold. This is a fun little movie. I think it is a tad too long. It is based on the play, so if you know the play, it's basically the play on the screen. Jimmy Stewart is really the reason to watch this one. It's not my favorite of Frank Capra's work, but Jimmy Stewart won an Oscar for this, I believe. Or if he didn't, he may want to... nope, he didn't. He won for the Philadelphia Story. Regardless, the reason to watch this is Jimmy Stewart. It's a little overlong, but not bad. I would give this one 3.5 stars. And finally, rounding out the 1930s is Gone with the Wind. This is pretty much one of the most controversial movies of all time. Victor Fleming directed this one. Of course, we have Clark Gable, again, Vivien Leigh, Leslie Howard, Olivia de Havilland. This is an all-time classic movie. It should, you know, there was a lot of to-do a few years ago when HBO Max put it up on their streaming service, that there was a disclaimer that had some, you know, basically says that it has some problematic messaging, or maybe not messaging, but imagery of, because basically this takes place during the Civil War. It's in the South. Maybe not the most sensitive depiction of African Americans during the Civil War, but it is an absolutely brilliantly, breathtakingly made film. The cinematography is amazing. It is 4 hours long, so you need to schedule out a whole afternoon to watch this baby. But it's an amazing film. Honestly, every film student, everybody who's interested in history, filmmaking, should watch this movie. Let me know if you like this little project. Our next video is gonna focus on the 1940s.